triglycerides? Nagtataka ba kayo na kahit hindi kayo kumakain ng baboy, itlog, yung mga nut butter, at saka umiiwas na kayo sa lahat ng mga matataba ay mataas pa rin yung inyong triglycerides? Alam nyo ba na kahit ganito yung kinakain ko, araw-araw, halos araw-araw, meron akong kinakain either itlog or karne or baboy, and always something fatty. Kung hindi man karne, I always use olive oil or di kaya coconut oil sa mga low carb breads na ginagawa namin tulad nito. And yung triglycerides ko, never yan tumataas beyond 70. I think yung pinakamataas ko na triglycerides ay nasa 60s lang. This is on the lower normal limit because yung normal values up to 150, considered ko yung normal. But I never reach beyond 100. Mostly, mas mataas pa yung HDL ko, yung good cholesterol ko, more than the triglycerides. And it's not because of me, but it's because of what I do with what I eat. Low carb and fasting. But for other people who has high triglycerides, mga pasyente ko noon, these findings are also being replicated. These are being doubled. So hindi ito dahil ako ito. No, anybody can lower their own triglycerides. Yung sinasabi lang natin, you just have to trust the process because low carb works, and I will show you later on kung paano yan. But bago yan, ipapakita ko muna sa inyo yung result ng pasyente ko before. Meron siyang elevated uric acid. 25-year-old na female to ha, in February 23, 2021. So yan, mataas yung kanyang uric acid, mataas yung kanyang SGPT. Since 2017 pa daw yan, yun na yung result. Ang tataas. And then yung triglyceride niya, although normal, considered normal, kasi nga yung normal values nila dito, no, hanggang 200. So 183 for them is still normal. But after 1 month only of low carb and fasting under my guidance, tingnan nyo, yung kanyang uric acid for the first time in 4 years, naging normal. So, from yung kanyang uric acid na 5 point, ansa na yun? Uric acid na, yan, na elevated, 8.4, it is now down to, yan, tingnan nyo, it is now down to 7.6. Yung cholesterol niya, tumaas, yes, but it's the HDL and LDL, which are not bad at all, yung tumaas, and it's okay. So, 1 month lang, yung SGPT niya ay from previous na 102, nakita nyo yan? 102 SGPT in just 1 month. March 24, yan, 69 na lang. So, that is a lowered normal in just 1 month alone. And since pinag-uusapan natin is triglycerides, tingnan nyo, yung triglycerides niya before na 183 by February 21, by March 24, yung triglycerides niya ay nasa 104 na lang. At alam nyo ba kung ano yung kanyang kinakain? It's actually these kinds of food as well. Pero bago kayo mag-isip kung pwede na kayong mag-unlimited pork, mag-unlimited itlog, at kumain ng mamantika, we have to look first kung bakit nga ba tumataas yung triglycerides. Kailangan natin malaman kasi yung pinakamabisang pagkain para pampababa ng triglycerides, hindi baboy, hindi avocado, hindi itlog, hindi gulay. These are just foods. Yes, they can be eaten, pero hindi sila yung pinaka-the best na pagkain pampababa ng triglycerides, and I will show you why. Madali lang to, don't you worry. So, yung first column, eto yung nangyayari sa loob ng ating atay. Imagine niyo, for the longest time, hindi na kayo kumakain ng mga pagkaing matataba, yung mamantika, pero bakit parati pa rin tumataas yung inyong triglycerides? This is actually because you are consuming a lot of glucose, sugar pa din, carbohydrates pa din. So these glucose, hindi lang to nanggaling sa matatamis, sa mga desserts, sa soft drinks ha. Pwede itong manggaling sa tinapay, nanggagaling yan sa rice, nanggagaling yan sa noodles because those are starch. Nanggagaling din yan sa oatmeal, kahit sa high fiber na bread, wheat bread, meron pa rin yan. Mataas pa rin yan sa starch na bigla-biglang nako-convert into glucose sa ating liver. At ano ang ginagawa ng liver natin sa glucose na ito? Some of them, papasok sa bloodstream at maidedeposit sa ating taba. Yung second column nito is yung dugo natin. So, yung ating blood sugar, maintained yan dapat on normal level. So, kakailangan papasukin na yan para hindi tumaas. So, pinapapasok yan sa ating taba, sa ating katawan. Adipose tissue at anong ginagawa ng ating taba sa glucose? Yan, gagawin niya itong more taba. So, from glucose, meron siyang pathway na magiging triglycerides. And even within the liver, tingnan nyo to, yung glucose na ito, meron siyang pathway, magiging glucose 3-phosphate yan, and then meron niyang pathway becoming triglycerides. So, it's actually, kapag yung triglycerides ay umaapaw na sa inyong atay, because normally, yung triglycerides na yan, this is being stored inside the liver. But kapag hindi na talaga nakaya ng liver, kahit nagpa-fatty liver ka na, patuloy ka pa rin gumagawa ng triglycerides, so aapaw yan at mapupunta na sa inyong dugo. At dahil dyan, tumataas na yung inyong level ng blood triglycerides. That's why kapag mataas yung inyong level of blood triglycerides, ibig sabihin, sobra-sobra na rin yung taba na nasa liver ninyo. So it's not uncommon, hindi surprising, hindi nakakagulat na yung mga taong mataas yung triglycerides, meron ding some degree of fatty liver or some degree of liver inflammation. Kasi kahit pa walang fatty liver, pero merong inflammation, pamamaga sa loob ng atay, this will it will trigger more de novo lipogenesis o yung paggawa ng sariling taba ng ating atay. And now, kung sobra-sobra na yung inyong triglycerides sa inyong katawan, meron na rin kayo sa inyong liver, meron na rin kayo sa inyong adipose tissue. Alam nyo ba, kahit pa natatakot tayo, pero alam nyo ba, good news yan, partly. Bakit good news? Good news yan kasi meron ka ng savings. Meron ka ng naimbak na food sa katawan mo. So actually, pwede mo nang i-withdraw yung savings na ito. So, kailangan wag muna itong punuin pa ng mas maraming triglycerides. So, tigilan muna yung pagkain ng glucose. Kahit yung mga matatabang pagkain, pwede munang tigilan. Kung gusto mong mag-withdraw muna, mag-cash out ka na muna sa inyong investment sa iyong katawan. And yung triglycerides, alam niyo ba kung ano mangyayari dito? So, this one, can you see this one? Yung pinakataas ng yellow arrow. So, yung triglycerides nito, kapag hindi muna kayo kakain. Ito ay mabreakdown into two. The free fatty acids na gagamitin ng ating katawan to be used as ketones and as fatty acids para magamit ng ating muscles, ng ating heart. At kapag ito ay na-convert into ketones, magagamit din ng ating brain. And the other backbone, triglycerides, 3 acyl na molecules. So, 3 molecules of fats and 1 glycerol backbone. Yung glycerol naman, pwede naman itong gawin ng ating atay as ingredients into gluconeogenesis. So, yung glycerol actually, pwede itong gawing ingredient parang gawing glucose. Yung glucose naman, kapag ikaw ay fat-adapted na, ito naman yung gagamitin ng ating unnucleated, yung mga walang nucleus na cells tulad ng red blood cells and some parts of our body. Minimal lang, mangangailangan ng glucose. So actually, yung triglycerides, pwede siya both as glucose and as ketone source. So that is why yung triglycerides, as much as we are very afraid na tumataas ito, but this is actually a little partly good news. Good news only for this short time because kapag meron kayong mataas na triglycerides ngayon, isa lang yung ibig sabihin yan. You are now ready to fast. Meron na kayong reserve na pagkain sa inyong katawan, both for your glucose needs and for your keto needs. So, alam nyo ba? Alam nyo na ngayon kung anong pinakamabisang pagkain, papababa ng triglycerides? Eto ay wala. Actually, fasting is the key. Fasting is the key to lower triglycerides because triglycerides is just excess food excess energy na hindi nagagamit. And if we don't use it, kapag hindi natin ito nagamit, when it comes to energy, kapag hindi ito natin na i-convert, this can cause a lot of problems. It can cause inflammation, and that is where the problem will begin. Pwede na itong maging nidus for more fat build-up sa ating blood vessels, and that can lead into cardiovascular diseases, magkakaroon na ng stroke, ng heart attack. So that's why the best way, the best food to eat to lower triglycerides is nothing. You just need to fast. But of course, you need to fast the right way, the guided way. Hindi basta-basta. Huwag basta-bastang susubok kapag hindi pa ganon ka mentally prepared and emotionally prepared. And most importantly, when it comes to your knowledge, kung ano yung dapat i-expect, kung ano yung mga dapat ipaghanda, ano ang dapat i-ready before you do your fasting. However, we understand na not everybody can fast that easily. I myself, it's been going 4 years now since I've been fasting, and every time I fast, hindi siya yung parang hindi ka na nag-iisip talaga. There is still some degree of struggle. Like for example, today I'm already at my 10th day of OMAD or 1 meal a day, and right now nasa 22 hours of fasting na ako. This morning we did our morning exercise, nagboxing kami, and somewhat may mga few seconds na medyo nahihilo. So buti na lang I know what to do, just a pinch of salt and a little water, and I'm good to go. But if you do not know what to do, we suggest that you study first. Pag-aralan muna and you consult with your doctor. And if you want to consult with low carb physician to guide you and to give you a clearance kung safe ba sa inyo mag-fasting, because fasting is already established as the best and natural way to heal many things. Kaya nga lang, it should be under medical supervision. And not all doctors are knowledgeable on how to manage fasting for therapeutic purposes. And to go on the safer route, kung hindi pa kayo prepared mag-fasting, just start by lowering down your inflammation. Just lower your glucose intake. Because eventually, kapag nilower yon yung glucose intake, it's the natural course of our body to break down fats. If we go back to this, yung lipolysis o yung pagkatunaw ng taba, yun actually yung natural state ng ating katawan. Parati tayo nagtutunaw ng taba. But yung pagtunaw ng taba, napipigilan yan. At ano yung nagpipigil dito? It's actually the presence of insulin. The presence of insulin will stop the yellow arrow process. Yung yellow arrow process, ito yung process ng pagtunaw ng taba. And kapag tayo ay parating mataas yung insulin natin, it's always the blue process na ang nagdo-dominate. And that is elevated glucose, elevated triglycerides, elevated fatty acids para maiimbak at para gawing triglycerides, but it's never being used as energy. So the key to lowering your triglycerides is actually fasting, and the key to fasting, kasi yung fasting hindi din ganun madaling gawin. So the key to fasting is actually to stay low carb. So when you stay low carb, when you eat low carb, fasting becomes natural. You don't need to think about it very often. You can just start with just 12 hours of fasting, 12 hours of circadian fasting. Dinner at 6, maximum na. Dinner at 7, next day breakfast, 7 din. And then slowly, if you do that for 12 days, up to 14 days, and eating only low carb, check our JGC Rojo food list and just focus on the safe list for the next 2 weeks. After 2 weeks, magugulat ka na lang. Pagising mo ng umaga, hindi ka nagutom. And later, makita mo na lang, maybe by 6 o'clock, dinner sana, busog ka pa rin. That is when fat adaptation happens. And fat adaptation means your body is now starting to break down those elevated triglycerides, and it's now using those triglycerides to fuel your body. So kahit pa empty yung tiyan mo, actually hindi ka nagpapagutom, hindi ka nawawala ng nutrition because your body already prepared for that fast. Bigyan natin ng pagkakataon na magamit, na ma-cash out natin yung savings natin sa ating katawan in the form of triglycerides. We don't need so much of those because we are better functioning our health is at optimum kapag we keep our triglycerides at lower level, and we also lower down our inflammation. And we get used to fueling both from fatty acids, ketones, and glucose. Huwag puro glucose lamang, because that is very detrimental to our health. If you like this episode, you may continue to watch all of our videos in YouTube and in our Facebook channel. And if you want to know more, we have a low carb and fasting masterclass, and comes next week. Magsisimula na yung ating LCF masterclass for gallbladder diseases. Yung mga nawala na ng gallbladder o yung meron pang concurrent gallbladder problems, how to do low carb and fasting the right way for those with gallbladder diseases. And for those with fatty liver, merong mataas na triglycerides, may hypertension, diabetes, PCOS, yung merong mga bata na merong childhood obesity, merong GERD, meron pang marami pang problems when it comes to their health, and those who want to lose weight, we already have an ongoing LCF masterclass for that by yours truly. I-message nyo lang po yung admins natin in LCF masterclass by Josephine Grace C. Rojo MD na Facebook page. Soon we will launch our website, and we will keep you posted. For now, always remember to stay low carb so that we all stay safe. Have a good day, everyone. Oh, and before I forget, we have a meet and greet this coming March 27 here in Pasig. Sa Pasig lang po yung meet and greet natin. Only very limited slots left. So if you wish to be a part of that meet and greet, just message our admins, admin Angela or Cha, in the following numbers. So maraming salamat, everyone. I'll see you again in our next video. Maraming salamat. Have a good day.